Houston Texans are taking on the Indianapolis Colts. This is a playoff game. The winner of this game locks in the spot in the playoffs. The loser is going home. They're going to start their offseason early. The question is, who's going to be that team to start their offseason early and take that luxurious trip home back to the couch? Now, the last time these two teams faced off against each other, the Indianapolis Colts won in convincing fashion. So what does Houston need to do this time to avoid getting swept by Indy? Well, the good thing is that C.J. Stroud came back against the Tennessee Titans last week, and he looked good as what he was prior to missing a couple of games. And you're going to need him to have a superstar level performance and able to have a shot at winning this game, because these are the kinds of games where a guy like C.J. Stroud is supposed to show you why he was drafted second overall. And he's had the greatest rookie season that we've ever seen out of a first-year quarterback. But in a game like this has to be his best performance of the season. When your franchise quarterback needs to step up is when the playoffs are on the line. Indianapolis, they're one of those teams that are opportunists. They're like edge. If you give them turnovers and you give them extra possessions, or you're coming up short in the red zone, they're going to make you pay. Anytime the Colts have won, it's been because mostly they've won the turnover battle. Look what happened when they played Pittsburgh. Hell, look what happened when they lost to the Falcons. What happened when they lost to Atlanta? Oh, they didn't win the turnover battle. Oh, Atlanta didn't beat themselves. As long as Houston doesn't beat themselves, they're going to have a shot at winning this thing. Indianapolis doesn't have a great defense. Their defense is mostly predicated off their ability to generate takeaways. If they can't generate takeaways, they struggle against the run. They struggle against the pass. They just got their ass beat by the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons beat Indianapolis. Think about that. You want to know why? Because when you're a team that wins off misfortunes of your opponents, it's not a consistent way of being able to win. Now, that doesn't take away from what makes Indianapolis the team that they are right now, being eligible for the playoffs, because if they were a team that only won based off takeaways, then they wouldn't be that great. But they're well coached. You know, they don't really make a lot of mistakes. But Gardner Minshew at the helm at QB, he does have moments where he throws a lot of YOLO balls, when he's just throwing the ball in a double coverage, triple coverage, and he's not really paying attention to going through his progressions and paying attention to who's open. He's just throwing that football just to throw it. Houston has a really great defense. It may not be an elite defense, but it's a great defense when everybody's fully healthy. And even with Will Anderson being questionable, you still feel really good about Houston's ability to stop the run in this game. Because last time they played against each other, Indianapolis had a fantastic day running the football down Houston's defense. So if you're DeMeco Ryans, you need to do everything that you can of slowing down the rushing attack of the Indianapolis Colts. If you can force Indy to become one-dimensional of Gardner Minshew, that secondary that has been fantastic at generating interceptions and takeaways, they're going to have the opportunity to come away with at least 2 or 3 of them going against Gardner Minshew. Houston has the obvious quarterback advantage in this game. All right, and when you have the quarterback advantage in a game like this, in a playoff atmosphere, it's huge. Because the majority of the times, the teams that go the furthest in the playoffs are the teams that get consistent, great quarterback play. You need great quarterbacks, or at least good quarterback play, to be able to win these games. If Gardner Minshew is able to give you that, then that's going to vote well for Indianapolis' chances of being able to win this game. And Indianapolis is a well-coached team in their own right. DeMeco Ryans is a stud head coach, but so is Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen is an offensive-minded coach. DeMeco Ryans is a defensive-minded coach. Something's going to have to give in this game. Something is going to have to give. Not only is this a playoff elimination game, winner gets in, loser goes home on the couch, but also the winner has a potential chance of winning the AFC South and getting a home field playoff game for that first round. If the Jaguars lose and let's say the Texans win this game or the Colts win this game, then they win the AFC South. And I would be doing a major disservice to both of these teams if I didn't commend them on even being in this position. Before the season started, nobody thought the Texans and the Colts were going to be good. Everybody thought that Houston and Indianapolis were at most going to win 6 games, Nothing more than that. The reason why these two teams are in this position is because they've been well coached, and also they've had pretty decent quarterback play. Gardner Minshew hasn't been great, and there's been games when Indianapolis has mostly won in spite of him, but he's been serviceable enough that they've found ways to win games with him being their backup QB. Houston, when they played the Colts in, early in the season, week 2, when they last won, or when they lost, Anthony Richardson was the quarterback. And it's way different having to find out a way to stop an offense that has Derrick Henry at quarterback damn near 6'5", 255 pounds, running 4.43 than it is when you're game planning to stop Gardner Minshew. I mean, that dude, Anthony Richardson, is a damn freight truck. So when you got to face off against Gardner Minshew the second go around, that gives me a lot of confidence in Houston's defense. Gardner Minshew is a serviceable QB, but when you got C.J. Stroud on the other opposite end, that should give Houston the advantage, regardless of the injuries that they have on defense. C.J. Stroud is the reason why I'm taking the Texans to get this win. This dude has had the best rookie season that we've ever seen. To me, he's been a top 5 quarterback this year. And since this is a playoff game, I'm going to go with the team that has the playoff advantage. And that is having a star quarterback. Having a star quarterback gives you a better opportunity at going far in the playoffs than it does when you have a guy like Gardner Minshew. Because you see, C.J. Stroud is good enough to overcome certain limitations. Gardner Minshew isn't. If Indianapolis can't run the football, they're not going to have a chance at hell at being able to win this game, especially if Gardner Minshew is going to have to lead this team to a win with his arm against a secondary that's red hot right now at forcing turnovers. Houston doesn't need the run game to be able to beat this team. All they need is for C.J. Stroud to show up and do what he's done all season long. If this is one of those games when C.J. Stroud goes off like how he did against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is pretty much going to be a guaranteed victory for Houston. I don't think there's any way the Texans should lose this game unless they just implode on themselves. And I don't think that's going to happen. I believe the Texans are going to get one up on the Colts this go around. And I think they even up this thing at 1-1. And they're going to clinch their spot in the playoffs this year.